Hello everybody and welcome back to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 17, Week 2. One Dota client update later, taking another look at Team Les Foies Gras. Les Foies Gras, the BlackOtter lineup. Taking on the Wagyu Beefs, the Tallballz lineup. Witch Doctor, IL, Warlock, all being banned. It's all supports. I hate support, says both of these captains. Oh, bloody hate support, says Copless, who is a support.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team back.
And they're getting rid of the DP too, which I do not blame them for doing.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
By the way, with me here today is still Randy, if you can believe that.
Yes.
It is all supports and Death Prophet.
10 seconds remaining.
Come on, make it another support. Ban out the Lion. Come on, ban out the Lion, baby. You know you want to.
Radiant team
Nope, they're banning out the Doom. Okay. That's a pick I don't think you just randomly do. Gonna be picking up the Abaddon, first pick here. Abaddon did not get banned, so they're picking it, which isn't surprising. Especially when you consider I think this guy right now works pretty well on 4 out of the 5 roles. You really are hard-pressed to set up a explicitly bad Abaddon game. And you know, top win rate hit patch, hero, you know how it goes. Tallballz putting some thought into his second pick here. It's going to be Rubik.
Oh, Rubik, alright.
Just in memory, I guess, of the dearly departed Dark Ace. Because usually on this team, there would be a funny little interest story here between and Dark Ace, if Dark Ace was here. Sadly, he's not. So hopefully these two meet on bracket. Rubik, unfortunately, not the greatest user of Abaddon skills. I don't think he can actually get borrowed time. I've never seen it at the very least.
I thought it was he could get it if Eva presses it.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like I've definitely been in situations before where I pressed it. It was the last skill I used. I get skill stolen and he still just has a Photic. Photic ain't bad. Mist Coil ain't bad, but they're nothing you're salivating over as Rubik, really. Lots of fire at Dubu Bear on the part of Copless, who's knocking out many pots 3 heroes in sequence now. Got tired of banning out all the supports, I guess.
5 seconds remaining.
Och, fella, I got no respect for you, Lion. I'm letting it through, says Copless. Guess he read Meth flaming him for his build in the chat last game. Thinking hard about the ban here. Because they want Randy to be really tired when we get into the game.
Dire team pick.
Lifestealer is the ultimate answer. I mean, the Lifestealer kind of owned them last game. I do not blame them for not wanting to go through that again, frankly.
I mean, if you get a hero that gets a rampage on your team, you probably ban it.
Yeah. Yeah, no argument here. Shoutouts to Roxy Roro, who has joined us in the list of viewers, but not in chat. Presumably trying to stream snipe an entirely different game.
Crystal Maiden.
CM up next is somebody Abaddon doesn't care about literally at all. So that's not a great start. Is in fact somebody who really just makes Abaddon like happy because he can get rid of CM's Q and get rid of CM's W and make her ult kind of a sketchy proposition, because if CM ults and Abaddon ults, Abaddon is at full HP now. So she either just has to stop or let him get back to full, and those are both pretty unappealing options. Clockwork coming out. We've seen very good work coming out of Clockwork from Copeless in seasons past. Hopefully is still the case. Hopefully he has not gotten, pardon the expression, rusty.
Yeah, please not wash.
Dire team pick.
Picking up the Viper here next. Interesting pick to be sure. Another guy who doesn't really care about these two dudes on the Dire. The Viper ult, though, is trouble. You know, it used to be that Rubik hated seeing Viper. Now Rubik kind of loves seeing Viper. Now that that break is on your on the Viper ult, it's awesome. It's an awesome pickup for Rubik. It wasn't bad before. It's just you weren't excited by it. It was just whatever. But now, yeah, you hit somebody with it, and it's like got more damage, and it's got the big fat break. It's like, you don't really want to lose that. It's like super good against him in particular. Like he hit Viper with his own ult, and he just dies. Sand King coming out next on the Wagyu Beast. Not somebody Viper especially cares about. Not somebody Abaddon especially cares about unless he's getting chain stunned by him, or Sand King's ult comes after Abaddon's is over. So both of those are very non-optimal situations anyway. I don't think anybody is very happy to be in those situations, so. Somebody those two care about. Do have good synergy with the CM ult, but again, you do kind of have a problem with that so far, and you have another problem before the Viper having the innate magic resistance on his passive. Clinks, though. It's quite a good pick. Somebody that Abaddon doesn't really like to see because he can control when he attacks and who he's attacking very effectively. Can definitely just wait out the ult if he wants to. And somebody Viper hates to see, because, well, Clinks does a lot of right-click damage, and that's something Viper is not historically considered very good at dealing with. Also is an Orchid buyer, and as we often say, or at least as I often say on the cast, hey Randy, what's big green and does no damage?
Tidehunter.
Damn. True, but also Viper when he's silenced. They have a very good pushing lineup on the Radiant, if nothing else. Even if they do have to dodge fights, courtesy of this Clinks. Abaddon plus Viper, when Viper gets that shard, towers are going to start dying in like 2 seconds. If Terrorblade was good, this will be an awesome Terrorblade game for Radiant, except for the whole Clinks thing. You had some way to sideline that. This could be a very good Naga Siren game for the Radiant, actually. The only thing you're really afraid of is a Sand King ult coming at a bad time.
Radiant team ban.
It's going to be a good Grimstroke game, though, is what it's going to be. And nah, Grimstroke kind of sucks here right now. The silence is very good for dealing with most of these people. Even Clinks is a very cast-dependent hero. But all you got is a double break, and nobody on this team cares about break. There's like no passes at all on the tire. So nobody cares that much about the double Viper ult, and I mean, hey, like way late in the game, Abaddon's going to be level 25, and you have the double AoE Mist Coil, which is like 1 billion damage. So, you get there, you got that. Aside from that, though, I'm not particularly inspired by this game as a Grimstroke game. They're not going to pick the Naga, they're going to ban the Naga, actually, as it turns out. Guess I can't argue that much with that. I've played Abaddon in a Naga, it's pretty rough. Trail Ranger ban. Man, if you're willing to pick Drow Ranger into Sand King Clinks and some invisible last pick, you are crazier than then it probably would be. I don't exactly
Pick
agree with that.
Spectre. Pick Spectre or
5
ban
seconds
Spectre.
remaining.
They're thinking, Randy. Give them 2 minutes.
Ban it. You're gonna get picked against you. Well, maybe if Copless is thinking about it.
Or he's thinking about it. Can't discount that possibility. It's gonna be a quite good
Radiant team ban.
PL game as long as you have good control over what your illusions are doing as well. You know, Sand King doesn't just immediately murder all of your illusions. A good spot for a PL game.
Radiant team
Not like they can really pick or shaker in kind against it. Randy says Spectre, and it's not a bad looking Spectre game by any means. 3 very squishy guys who are not going to be able to resist you very much even in the early game. They're not going to have any impact on you
10
later.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Thinking hard. AM ban is a good idea. Wouldn't have been a bad AM game either. Just doesn't care about anybody except the Clinks, and he can just dunk on the Clinks. Though it's a bit risky, I think, picking AM when you don't have last pick. Unless it's like a even better looking AM game than this, basically.
Dire team pick. Queen.
It's a bad one.
Oh yeah, it is. I wasn't thinking about that actually.
I was kind of
guessed.
thinking about it, but I gotta be honest, I don't think I like this much as a bad one game. They're willing to run back the play of trying to end as early as humanly
10
possible, that's
seconds
great,
remaining.
but a bad into Clinks is a real... I mean, assuming it's a 1 Clinks, but
5
even if it's a
seconds
2,
remaining.
a Batten into Clinks is just not a great matchup for a Batten. Clinks is just too easily able to control his damage and too easily able to get it out of his way. And outside of Quap screaming at him, which is not going to be effective for the entire game, there's not really much counterplay to him on this entire board. Like, I don't know if you agree, but to me this looks and smells like, unless Clockwork is getting the best hook shots in history, this is a kind of
Choose
free
your hero.
Clinks game. PL does not hurt that fact. PL is another pause one a Baden can have trouble dealing with. Somebody who just gets rid of his entire mana pool is going to have a very negative impact on the way he fights. You know, it's like I said, even in situations where it's like, even if you want to just go the funny Manta is my life build, right? Even if you want to just try to mana dump your Curse of Avernus on people every game, well, you can't do that if PL says you have no mana. And you really don't threaten him at all. Viper doesn't really threaten him at all. Quap can be a problem, but you have the Sand King and the Clinks who should at least ideally be able to deal with that. I think I'm favoring the Tallballz lineup off a draft. What do you think, Randy?
I like this as a PL game. That's good.
Yeah, this is like a good PL game and it's a good Clinks game. I think they never made it a bad Clinks game, even with all the picks they got after it. Again, unless Clockwork has the world's greatest hook shots, and Sand King can't do anything about him. And that's a lot to ask. Like, Copless is Copless, don't get me wrong, but that's a lot to ask a guy. You know, it's funny. I mentioned earlier I was on the BBC this week, and I don't know if I told you this already, Randy, I don't think I did. But in this particular game, right, usually in the prediction polls, usually most games, it's like one team, oh, goodbye BlackOtter, one team is fairly favored, right? One team is, you've got, like, it's Randy versus Anani, and you have 10 votes, and the majority would be with Anani or 1-1, and then you'd have, the rest are going to be voting Randy 2-0, right? But this particular matchup was very interesting because 1-1 was the smallest slice on the pie by a lot in this game. Everyone thought this was going to go 2-0 one way or another. It's an interesting way to look at it. 1-1 was a very small minority. I don't want to toot my own horn and say how unique and quirky I am, and throw on the fact that I said this was 1-1, but you know how it goes. Looks like at the very least off of pick phase is definitely favoring Dire. I mean, they could definitely, you know, this is going to be to some degree a high concept team lineup, right? Like if Gras just goes weird places and dies a lot, this team is dead. Even with how good Clinks is, doesn't matter if something is countered or if something is good if you're not actually executing it properly. Or you could have like bad sanking or Wacko Dubs' PC could explode again or whatever could happen, right? Things could happen, but I think Draft is really heavily favoring Dire in this particular game. I just don't know how Radiant stops Clinks. I feel like Clinks just eats all these guys and just is okay with it. Oh, Quab's Courier is an error. Nice. That's not supposed to happen. Sadly, I can't use hotkeys to select her Courier. Opening F2 didn't just do something weird to OBS. Something looks weird on this recording, that would be why, I guess. Somebody drew my name. It was Danny! Danny drew my name on the map, or maybe,
Danny's a big fan.
Oh, F2. Oh, okay. Hey, Randy, I figured out why you're only able to see one team in games sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's because it like took the last way you were watching like a replay. So if you were like spectating someone's player perspective, it would load the cast and player perspective, and you couldn't change it in game.
Next time that happens, mess with the F number buttons.
I did that.
Oh, never mind then.
The only
Anyway.
prescribed solution is to load up a replay before the game and direct to camera or free camera.
Either way, either Gras or US Danny, because they both have the same color, drew my name on the map in this game, so I'm forever etched in history.
Oh, that sounds like Danny behavior, honestly.
Probably. Could be Gras behavior. Oh, could be Joy-Con drift on my mouse there. Nothing else, it should be a fairly good lane for Baden. I mean, Sanking's gonna get pretty scary when it gets enough. Okay, rip CM, I guess. First blood for Les Foes Gros. CM just takes a dive here. I mean, CM's just gonna be kind of food this lane, I think. There's not really a reality in which Viper does not come out of this lane feeling okay, but sad thing is, he needs like a lot. He needs to do like ridiculously well for it to matter, because like this started out as a decent Viper game, but it magically transformed into hell on earth for him by the end of pick phase. Oh, did you see that? the range creep randomly KS poor PL there? That's so sad.
It's just tragic, really.
But you know, Viper is like really bad into Clinks. He's really bad into PL. It's like such a horrible matchup. Even after the change to the ult and the W, it actually kind of feels worse. PL, I think it was almost one of the people you kind of liked having the break on the goo, because at least it's, you know, the stronger goo. The break on the goo means even if you lose track of the guy, you're still guaranteed to get the goo on him. You know, even if you're looking at a big cloud of PLs and you don't know which one the real PL is, you can at least drop the big cloud of goo on the ground, and no matter what, he's not creating any new ones for a minute. And sure, yeah, he has the attack speed reduction now, but he's still got the PL party coming along, and that in some cases is going to be a lot worse for you than a couple of auto attacks would be. Last hits favoring Radiant across the board this time, after being down most of lane phase in the last game. The only Dire hero who's on the board here is Clinks, who's up in his matchup against the Quap at mid by 4 last hits and 6 denies because Quap has 0.
0 denies. That guy's getting outplayed.
It is unfortunate. Tallballz got a little eager to do some damage there, but Coppolis may just die in retaliation for this. Oh, he had the Lotus. Having kind of a hard time figuring out which PL is the real deal here. Oh damn, he had the opportunity. Okay, he got denied by neutral creep. He had the opportunity to turn around, throw Q at the clockwork there, but he lost the mana, so he couldn't. Got the neutral creep denied, though. That's pretty funny.
Cogs push. Pretty good.
Max, not Max, but Wacko dude throws a baton into himself. Maybe regrets that decision in the long run. Oh, a baton very low right now on all resources. Considering he doesn't have any queued up, it is more than likely time for him to retreat. Like, really, it's time for him to retreat. Yeah, there we go. If he had actually stayed around there, I think Abaddon actually dies in 1 Q. From the Sand King, I mean. Lots of harass coming out on Coppolis here. PL hurting a little bit in the lane. Although we have seen a very similar situation to this with PL recently, and came out fine for it in the end. Like I said, right now this is a win for top lane. And in a macro term, when you're thinking about next week's games, that's a win in and of itself, don't get me wrong. Another kill on Tallballz here, though. Definitely going to be able to tilt this if Tallballz is food just too often. You know, it's not going to matter how bad the disparity is if Viper is level 7 while PL is level 5, you know. Lynx has actually come to top to try and do something about this. And opted to fight in the Viper goo, which has led to the loss of his life. I don't know if that was explicitly worth it. Okay.
Everyone's dying.
They're gonna get it in the end with a PLE. Charges right into Viper and gets rid of him.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, probably. Especially considering while that was happening, Abaddon randomly died at bot lane.
Tower is under attack. Dire's middle
Hurts
tower
for
is
Gras,
under
but he got a kill and an assist out of it, and he's still topped the last hits chart.
It's kind of a classic death by 1,000 cuts situation going on about, like, I was always low, so you can always kind of reach out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a cursed game for Abaddon in lane phase anyway, because I don't like Abaddon in any of these 3 lanes. Oh, okay, PL's just gonna die top. Not even to Viper's first ult. Okay, that's horrible. That's a major blow at this point. Viper is now 5-1. It does not matter if this is the world's worst Viper game if you stomp and lane this hard. Grimstroke dies to the creeps instead of getting eaten by Gras here. Well, it does still kind of matter if it's the world's worst Viper game, but you know how it goes. They are willing to just come beat up Abaddon again. The the Glinks has actually already gone home. It's already walking back to men. They're still actually going on him here. It's not surprising. There's one thing Abaddon has on the Sand King. It's 2 denies. PL doing the right thing at this point in the game, just heading out to the jungle.
regeneration.
Looks like Quap is looking to follow here. Took the region, popped in, looking at top lane. Would be kind of a shame if Quap came up here to gank and found nothing but the CM, though, I must say. Rubik very hungrily standing around this sandstorm, just waiting to throw somebody into it. Instead, he throws a Baden out of the sandstorm more. Ah, that's so sad. Max tried to blow up the Grimstroke E there, the ink swell on him. Just barely missing out there. Nothing else. At least on paper, this Abaddon and Grimstroke combo is awesome. You know, I've always said it's better to go from 0 to 1 than 1 to 2 when it comes to Grimstroke, and not many heroes are a better display of that fact than Abaddon. Something like Inkswell is really all it feels like the guy needs, unless you're going up against a lane that looks like this, in which case you need some damage and some ability to actually do something about the Sand King, but you know how it goes. BlackOtter is just like watching Gras lane at this point. It's over a 10 last hit disparity. It's getting rough.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
PL cares not for the fate of his tower here.
Dire's
Clockwork is looking for him, but
Dire's top tower
staying
is
back.
under
Sees the
attack.
CM here, thinks that maybe it could have some meaning. CM is bringing the party to PL. Okay, never mind. That would not be a good decision. Clockwork getting caught behind the tower here.
Maybe it would be a fine decision. Okay, now with the cogs.
Rubik is TP'd in for this. Made it likely a trade of support for support here. Yep. The Clockwork's just gonna die.
Oh, he gives his buddy PL a little gift on
Yeah.
his way out. Oh,
And
he's
Viper's
rooted.
gonna go down.
Dire's
Viper
Nice.
stays
Oh,
really long
rooted.
in the 2v3. And
That's like
Rubik is
crazy
TP'd.
awareness.
Yeah, very good play there on the part of Wacko Dubs. Very unfortunate play on the part of US Danny there. There was a world in which that didn't happen, and US Danny actually had a pretty good mid-game, despite how out of it his pick was, but unfortunately, not only did he catch a casual death there, he kind of caught a casual death to like the one guy he absolutely cannot be feeding kills to. At the very least, Clinks is gonna die. Takes out the BlackOtter, takes out the Quap there. But gets killed by the Clockwork.
Dire's middle tower is under
By the
attack.
Copwork, as it were.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Slightly unfortunate situation, especially in the way that I feel like if a support's able to TP to that, that's definitely a double. Clinks might even live, but it's not exactly how it turned
Dire's
out.
middle tower
Take a look at the net worth chart here. Viper is in second place, and that's about the only good news the rating is looking at. Quap and Abaddon are gone. Abaddon is 1,000 net worth lower than anyone on Dire. Which, as a pause one that's mostly focused on your early game, is a pretty bad place to be. He's getting a little dangerously close to have Giraff's net worth. If Giraffe had not taken the death there, he probably would be right now. Speaking of Giraffe, he has got himself the Orchid now. And is likely going to be using it,
is under attack.
trying to be using it in anger here.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
A lot of guys looking at bot right now. Both teams. Rubik puts the Rimstroke in a bit of line of fire. This is a really good Sand King ult, actually. Stands right outside of the cogs to try and get it done. Abaddon is unintentionally tailing tailing the Clinks there. Does not know it though. Swinging a miss on the Sand King as Quap dies at the back of the line. Sand King is still invis though, as his supports are going down. Randy. Oh no. Okay, that was almost bad on the Rubik's part.
Get him.
Holy crap! All right.
Okay, nice cogs. Make
Randy,
man
that was
pay.
that was a 5-for-1 trade, and the early game team is the one who lost the 5. Oh, sorry, as a 5-for-2 trade, and the early game team is the one who lost the 5. And the only reason they even got one of the kills is because one of the... Okay. No, never mind. I was gonna say, they're at least gonna catch the Sand King off the back of this. They're not gonna catch the Sand King off the back of this. That was like, Rubik is positioning himself very aggressively here. It turns out, Rubik just had the Quap Blink. We feel a little confident with it. Klink's coming in on the back of this little situation here. I don't think he realizes just how many people he's in between right now. Mutual silence. But Quap immediately gets rid of that with an illusion rune. But she can't even win this fight. Look at how bad that is for Klink that she lost that fight. Randy, this is bad. Randy, this is real bad. What the hell do you do if you're the Radiant in this game? I mean, besides stop leaking. Clockwork gets the double damage, and it comes at the cost of his life. Klinks is now 5-3.
I'm not sure besides that is a valid question. I don't think there's that. Like, what do you do about a gunshot wound besides stop the bleeding? I don't know. Like, what? That's a good question.
Well, stop the bleeding goes without saying, so we're stopping the bleeding and then we do what if we're the Radiant in this game?
Hope your Abba has 8 items at 25 minutes, I guess.
There you go. The net worth gap between cores has actually shrunk since the start of these wacky fights at the very least. Abaddon is no longer sitting at a very, very dismal net worth. He's no longer half of Klink's. He has started to come back a little bit, though he still has a ways to go before he's on top, which is really where he needs to be this game. Like, the real nightmare scenario in this world is the point where you're like, you need Abaddon in these early fights, and Abaddon cannot actually fight early. If I'm saying the sentence, Abaddon cannot fight early, you're in a bad way. And Abaddon is getting tag-teamed very early here, as all the members of the Dire just kind of gang up on him. Actually, had the Grimstroke. The Grimstroke Ink Splatter there actually takes down this. The 3 and under club alone just take down half of Abaddon's health with the ult applied. Oh, poor Quap. As this Yule Scepter though. Actually, never mind. Poor Klink's. It's looking like he's the one who's gonna go down here. Quap is shortly to follow though. PL is here fighting. He doesn't actually have his Diffie yet. Which I gotta be honest is a little questionable. I don't think he needs to be shown right now, but at least he got a kill.
He's murdering people, I guess it doesn't matter.
I do feel like most of your upside as PL this game, though, is just being able to immediately get rid of everybody's mana. Not having that kind of sucks. Got his eggs! Okay, that's why he's positioning himself so cockily here. Oh god, Danny. Danny dies!
Yeah, that's
literally the first
guess.
guess. Danny dies and then he gets tipped. Oh no.
That was unreal.
It was Unreal. It was Unreal Engine 6. Oh, PL tried to dodge the Ink's little stun there. Actually could not do it and he had to back. It's very sad. PL at the top of the net worth charts. Go for Yasha next. He's actually going to do his Manta. Get his Manta before he even starts going for Diffie here.
That was in a bit of a pickle here.
Yeah, he has no ult. He has no life.
Yeah, I got popped with it. Okay.
So PL
Got popped
is...
with the Klinks.
PL is showing up on fights and just randomly murdering people. Abaddon is showing on ways and randomly dying. This is the world we're living in. You know, call me a pessimist if you must. Check in chat right now, that's how much of an optimist I actually am. Call me a pessimist if you must. But I feel like that's just not a sentence you want to have said. BlackOtter is back! Tallballz is probably gonna die. Man, if he actually had gotten away with that, that would have been just like... I would have actually started crying. Danny is back. Danny did not learn his lesson from last time, I guess. Actually, he just has more friends this time. Meanwhile, while PL is making everybody look at mid, Clinks just took a quarter of the health off of bot T2, and Clockwork died top.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, Rubik has a Photic Shield, how nice. Clinks does not actually know yet. Well, he knows now that everyone's at top. That's half of T2 bot now gone before Clinks decides to stop risking it and walk. He does not know it is the right thing to turn around, but if he had actually prosecuted that, he would have actually killed the entire tower. Instead, he's just gonna take a camp. Going for BKB next. Sadly, not gonna stop the Viper Break. Not just gonna stop most of it, and the Clockwork Hook. Gonna stop a lot of the other things, though. Most notably, it's going to stop the Viper Q, which, as weird as it is to say, is something Clinks actually is quite worried about, especially in the context of this game. Sand King Blink Dagger is up, presumably used in that sadly missed kill on the Clockwork in the top lane. Shiva's Guard is about to be done on him, which is actually going to be really nasty. There's so much magic damage on this team. This is such a good game to have one. And speaking of Shivas, if I sound cold, I am. PL Yasha. Oh no, he has actually decided to heed my invisible advice, and he is actually delaying his Yasha to start on the Diffusal Blade. So that's good at least.
You're doing very well. I'm very proud of you.
Sand King wants to watch PL farm the illusions, I guess. Or not farm the illusions, farm the ancients with his illusions, I guess. Giraffe takes a DD right under BlackOtter's nose. He almost thinks about going on BlackOtter and then realizes that's almost a 1v5. Whereas we in the business call it a 1v4. Ben has finally finished his Radiance. Meanwhile, PL and the rest of his lineup, the whole Dire, except for Clinks going on the Tormentor here. Clinks is even coming, just to see it get done. CM is, goddammit, CM is going to take the shard. As the Crystal Clone, which is something that's kind of annoying if you're a Baden. This is one of these tack pauses. But luckily it's a tack pause for both teams.
Okay, with all these pauses, I'm alarm myself to stay awake at 7:30. So, hope this game ends by then.
Decent enough chance. Quap is back. Man, it's amazing. Last time it was old Wacko Dubs, who was DCing a million times. Sadly, BlackOtter's internet cafe is on fire, so. Gwar, says Giraffe. Again, shares his favorite band with Copless, as it turns out. The tactic is that instead of walking up to the T1 mid, they're going to smoke up to the T1 mid. Danny will be the bait, I guess. Sand King is taking it.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Okay, they just missed everything on him. They just missed everything on Sand King. And here comes PL. Oh no! Oh my god, what a massacre! There goes the Grimstroke, there goes the Clinks.
That was unfortunate.
Only a Baden survives
Radiant structures are fortified.
as he glyphs in protest.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Diffie now complete on PL.
Radiant's
Rubik
middle
finished
tower
his goddamn Ags. Alright. Going down to bot. I really would like a Baden, I think.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He's in an unfortunate position. He's calling Courier. Oh, Clinks
they
does not
want-
care.
Realistically, is
has fallen.
to both be in position for Roche, maybe kill Eva. That's like a secondary, and then also be in
down.
position to get another outer. TP.
Yeah, they don't catch the
Okay.
TP, I don't think. Yeah, CM had the Frostbite, did not use it. I don't think she realized he was TPing. Because of all the particle effects over him. Gonna at least get the Quap for it, so there's that. Quap's attempt to TP did not go quite as well. They've somehow seen Tallballz here. I'm not sure how exactly, to be honest with you. But they knew he was there and they killed him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The frozen waste.
Oh, Clink runs right under a sentry at mid.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Clink runs right under a sentry and everybody on the Radiant's there. Abaddon dings at a kind of an awkward time. Yep, here comes the Sand King ult.
What an epicenter! He's too good.
That's kind of something I was talking about at the start of it. You know, the disaster zone for Abaddon is you ult and then it ends and then the Sand King ult comes out and that's how that fight went. PL is getting distressingly close to Manta. PL is doing like very little farming, doing as close to none as he can, and yet he's actually still on the top of the net worth charts. Everybody's gonna jump on the Rubik here, though.
Radiant's
It was
middle
a good
tower
play on the
is
part
under
of the Tallballz team, and bad play on the part of the or not the Tallballz team. Good play on the part of the BlackOtter team. I think kind of bad play on the part of the Tallballz team is coming out here to a degree. They're getting very cocky. They're getting very confident. You're starting to see a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not afraid of any of these guys," and put themselves in just jeopardy for nothing in some of these cases. Deso and crits up on the Clinks, going for the BKB next. Sand King trailing on Ags, which is actually really annoying for Abaddon. Something he can't really easily deal with unless he gets BKB, and I promise you, you don't want to do that on Abaddon. You hate to buy that item on Abaddon. US Danny is not going to stick on this wave, he's going to go to this creep camp here. Rubik's going to get kind of a funny feeling that... Nope, never mind. Rubik did not have a funny feeling, so they're not going to get him after all. But Viper's kind of having a funny feeling about him now. Oh, this could be really funny. Yeah, Cobble's trying to get in position for an ult. Clockwalker's trying to get in position for a hook shot, and he got found by the Clinks, blindsided. PL's got his Manta. Now we're gonna get into the shard. Rubik has found that Roche is here, surprisingly. In a game where 0 Roches have been done, Roche is still up. And this Grimstroke just dies in an 1/8 of a second. It's just such a massacre. Feels like every time one of the Tallballz players pokes his face out, he just gets annihilated.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Roche is quickly going to be following him in the Annihilation category. Honestly, Clink should take this. He's the only core who's even been in a moment of threat. And indeed he does. They genuinely might be able to go uphill on this. Viper is buying like pause 2 items. He didn't even get a Gleipnir, he got Mjolnir instead. That is a little crazy considering where Viper's position is in this game.
He's a mid player. He's also the highest net worth on his team.
Also true. Quaff has lower net worth than the Dire supports. As this tower dies in like a second flat.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Ag's nearly complete on the Sand King. I believe that might be what they're waiting for to go uphill. And it's out.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Turns out, though, that's not what they were waiting for. Rubik is going to have a quick meeting of the minds with Viper. Not going to stay long, though. He's got his blink there now. Both supports on the Dire now, they're blanks. And Viper stuck around that area he was seen in a little too long. Peel is no godlike. BlackOtter makes it out of that fight with just... Nope, never mind. Cancel that iota of health. PL caught it. Very nice bounce off of that PLQ. And they weren't thinking about going uphill before. They sure as hell are now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Awkwardly timed glyph is going to end right when Dire's creeps show up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And when the early game team has just lost their first barracks before they've even taken a single T2.
Radiant's middle
Abaddon solo pushing top trying to get it done.
Radiant's middle barracks has
But
fallen.
Abaddon is actually still far enough behind at this point that he actually is having trouble split pushing with any kind of speed. Certainly is not looking anywhere close to the rate of building destruction that Peel's at. And yep, you're coming in to try and get Peel in the back lines here. Abaddon. Huh?
Epicenter. How's... Okay.
Peel actually died in the back of that fight.
Yeah.
Abaddon is also dead though. And you're in the classic unfortunate situation to be in at Abaddon where you're really not a good buyback hero. You need your ult to do much. Gonna take the Aegis off of the Clinks here.
This is a classic push the other team out of base after you lose your buildings.
Yeah, with PL having randomly taken a spill on the back of that fight, which is actually pretty big. You're just gonna have to call it general. No. No,
it's
not like this!
Clinks is
Oh no! Copless calls the GGs and we're going home. Holy crap, Abaddon bought back, got too eager. If Abaddon keeps his cool, doesn't try to dive out of base there, I think they at least get the turnaround, at least get the opportunity to keep the offensive going, but he pushes out with no ult into the Clinks, who just shreds him. Like I said, just such a bad hero to be abandoned to. There's not many games for Abaddon that are going to go really poorly, but I mean, the thing is that, like, in a universe, like, Abaddon is bad into Clinks. Most Abaddon games into Clinks are not going to be bad, but Clinks has to be answered. Clinks has to be accounted for. Clinks was not accounted for this game. Nothing ever stopped him. Nothing ever made him feel under threat. Sand King went 7-0 for God's sake. Nothing ever made the Clinks feel under threat. Nothing ever made him feel under pressure. And so every time Abaddon and Clinks interacted, Clinks would just take him out at his leisure. You know, he didn't have like, you know, any kind of like big, instant, scary alpha damage guy to come out and just pop Clinks like a tomato. That did not exist here. Like I said, all you really had was a clockwork hook shots, but the problem is when you're down, it's hard to get vision out, and when it's hard to get vision out against Clinks, you're not going to get the first strike on him. And that's as simple as it gets. I think this was unfortunately a draft-related issue. It happens. I think it was very well played by the Wagyu beasts. I think there were times that they definitely got cocky. They got themselves nearly in a bad way because of it. But Yeah, ultimately, it almost came exactly as I predicted on the BBC. There's going to be one game where pops off and goes crazy, and there's gonna be one where he doesn't. It's gonna be down to draft. That's crazy. I'm a genius. I got the crystal ball. Anything you want to add to that before you go to sleep, Randy?
No.
If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg today to sign up. It's too late to get into this season, but it is not too late to stand in. There's queues popping everywhere. All kinds of fun happening. We'll see you next time for whatever game we're recording first.